breaking news that we're just getting out of Tel Aviv in Israel. We are hearing of airstrikes in the city, hitting a shopping centre there in the city. Now, this is just coming into us in the past few hours. And we've got some pictures that we can show of the huge flames that are from, there we go, from that strike there in Tel Aviv. You can see in the city in Israel. This is coming to us just in the last few minutes. Air raid sirens were heard over the city. 4 explosions were then heard, flames leaping into the sky after a shopping centre was hit. Let's bring in Hamdah Salhut. She joins us from Jordan's capital, Amman. She's reporting from there because the Israeli government has banned Al Jazeera from reporting inside Israel and the occupied West Bank. First of all, Hamdah, I mean, this has just happened, so I understand that details are very sketchy at this stage, but perhaps you know a little bit more than I have just been able to tell our viewers, and you can share that with us.
That's right. Just in the last couple of seconds, Laura, we're getting a statement from the Israeli military saying that the Israeli Air Force did launch 1 interceptor after 1 projectile was launched from southern Lebanon, and that this was not a direct impact in central Israel, but rather the result of shrapnel that had fallen from the sky and then ignited a fire in the city of Ramat Gan, which is in central Israel in the greater Tel Aviv area. Now, you'll remember that throughout this entire war, Israeli authorities, Home Front Command, the Israeli military do have a lot of different protocols when there are air raid sirens, especially in places like Tel Aviv and its surrounding cities and suburbs. They say that people should stay in those protected areas and shelters for at least 10 minutes, and that's because of the shrapnel that falls from the sky that can cause a lot of damage and has in fact killed quite a few people over the last year of this war. So the Israeli military is saying that this was not a direct hit, that 1 projectile was identified crossing over from Lebanese territory, that it was intercepted, but that this was the result of shrapnel that fell as a result of that interception.
I mean, not the first time, is it, Hamdah, that we've had rockets and drones fired over Tel Aviv and that they have been intercepted?
That's right. Throughout the last year and 1 month, the last 410 days, there have been so many air raid sirens in Tel Aviv. In the start of the war, it was actually rockets and projectiles that were being fired from Gaza. But now, since this escalation with Lebanon has taken place over the last several months, there have been quite a lot of air raid sirens in Tel Aviv, in its surrounding areas, something that the Israeli military says is part of the reason why they're continuing their attacks against Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon. It's important to remember also that this is an area that ordinarily before this war wouldn't really see these rocket sirens. They were mainly in places in the north near the Lebanese border and also in the south in the Gaza periphery and in those surrounding areas near the Gaza Strip. So the fact that these rockets are able to reach parts of central Israel, go deeper into Israeli territory is something that, of course, is of concern to the Israeli security establishment. But it's not just rockets. You've had drones, you've had all sorts of other projectiles that have infiltrated Israeli airspace. That's raised a lot of questions as to how and why Israeli air defense systems are not so foolproof as they're supposed to be. This is something that is so precise. It's something that has many levels to it. The defense system itself is threefold, but there are a lot of times that alarms are not even triggered, that interceptors are not launched, which causes a lot of investigations internally within the Israeli security establishment. But when it comes to shrapnel, this is something that is a factor that is out of anyone's control. When the collision happens in the sky between an interceptor and a projectile, it's why Israeli authorities tell people to stay in those sheltered areas, because what is falling from the sky can kill you and can cause a lot of damage, like we've seen tonight in central Israel.
Indeed, we have. Hamdah, many thanks indeed. We may well come back to you as we get a bit more information on this story. As Hamdah was saying, the Israeli military has said that this is not a direct hit of a projectile. It is the result of an interception of a projectile that was sent, it says, from Lebanon. And this fire in a shopping centre that we're seeing in the city of Ramat Gan in the greater Tel Aviv area is a result of shrapnel falling from that interception. We'll be keeping a close eye on that story as it develops.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.